Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. I'm not going to cut it off. We're just going to go. It's, oh crap, what day is it? November 8th. This is a happy birthday wish to Tim. His birthday's coming up on 11/11. Real easy to remember. Haven't spoken about my grandkids in a couple while. I know. You can't believe that I'm a grandfather. Just look at him. God, he's good looking. I'm sorry. I looked at a couple of my other friends. I must be right with God. Whew, overweight and bald. Now, granted, slightly overweight, but I still have some hair. I know you're looking at this mark right here. Well, what can I say? I think I got bit by a mosquito the other night when I was taking young Jackson, my producer, out for a walk. He's like a time clock that way. He moves better than I do, but he is regular. So, and he's not a Great Dane. Thank God. So, what happened this week? We had an election. Thank God that's over. There are two seasons I do not care for in Florida: election season and hurricane season. And now we might get a late or an early December hurricane. Great. And then there's Raphael, who hasn't made up his name which way he wants to go. North, south, Mexico, Florida, Cuba, maybe back to Cuba. I don't know. I don't care. It's hilarious. But my social media manager, who is the main uh, you know the love of my life, she's the one that tells me I should do something to improve my channel. And there's been a it's been a couple rough weeks, and and it's just time to move on. So I can't do everything, but there is one thing I can do. She said I should tell more stories about my history. So we'll call this one, I don't know, the transient and the train. That's kind of catchy. The transient and the train. So years ago, mm, I think right before 2000, a friend of mine, associate, also in law enforcement, we were working the west side of a medium-sized city in Florida. And there was like basically one location for us to go this time of evening, which was after midnight. So we're there. He's drinking his tea, and I'm drinking coffee because I don't do well on midnights. I mean, I love midnights, and mostly because yeah, any other cop will tell you the same thing. There's no brass around too much. You have a watch commander, maybe your sergeant, but he's not going to bust your balls. But less brass. You don't have those day shift guys from IA walking around. Not that I ever had to worry about them. But anyway, we're just minding our own business. He's telling me about some trip he's going to go on because the guy used to, I love him to death. The guy was my best man. But he would bring a log, I mean, a travel log with him, a map. And he was planning out these trips. And logistically, he was right on the money. He knew where he wanted to be and when. So he was quite good at figuring out roads, and he was the AI guy. AI meaning accident investigation. So we're drinking coffee, he's drinking tea, and we get a call, or he gets a call, in reference to a train versus a transient. Yeah, locomotive. Yeah, the same pictures were flashing through my mind when I heard that go out. They didn't have anyone to go with them. I said, I'll go with them. What ticked us off was this is technically in the northeast part of town. They're on a different radio channel and everything, but apparently they were all too busy doing something. I don't know. Did they show up? No, they did not. So I said, I'll go there and do traffic. Yeah, okay. Let me illustrate this the best way. There is a large interstate that goes through our town, city, and it divides east and west. Well, this happened like about 3 blocks away from there, or 2 blocks. And we were dispatched to what you call a state road, large state road, and we'll say Garland Avenue. So there we are. It's, like I said, we were dispatched like right before midnight, I think, or maybe a little afterwards. We got down there, and it's a mess. I mean, the train naturally has stopped. The arms are down. That's the only good thing. They're down. You the rescue team, the the paramedics, they're working with the transient. And the first thing I notice, and Tim, I'm sorry, did I say his name? Anyway, first time, it's his birthday, November 11th. Please give him a call. I'll flash his number. No, I won't do that. Anyway, he's getting all his stuff, and I suddenly realized I can only do crowd control on one side of the train because I can't go over it on the other side. This is a major thoroughfare. Like I said, it's a state road. It's got like 5 lanes, and there's a train right in the middle of it blocking directions. And most of the people have kind of figured it out. Like I said, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I got to turn around, go around, and they just don't know how far down they got to go to get to the west side. So we're there probably for about an hour, hour and a half, because this is routine. And I know what you're thinking. Well, how long does an accident report take? Well, actually, it's not an accident report. There's no motor vehicle involved. A train versus a transient or pedestrian as well is just an incident. It's a big insurance thing. I don't know how else to explain it. If the train hit a car, it'd be an AI, an accident investigation. But as it was an incident report. Kind of neat. So after about an hour and a half, we get with the conductor and everything else. Because if you're going to actually write someone on the train a ticket, that's the guy you have to write the ticket to. We did not write him a ticket. Okay. Train's got the right of way on train tracks. What do you want? So we're doing all this okay stuff, and the the person involved, he is what we call a signal two, intoxicated greatly. Um, he didn't speak English very well. I'm not sure if he was. I think he attempted to speak Spanish, Portuguese, and then he tried to speak German, and I don't know why. You know, we found his ID. That's all we needed. Just nothing like that. So I believe that Tim was going to write him a citation. Yeah, that's right. A citation for violating the cross arms. Even as a pedestrian, you can get one of those in Florida. Usually it's much worse because you get hit by a train. He apparently just got grazed by the train or hit by the rail arm. I'm not sure if we ever got figure that out. Because besides not speaking English, he was intoxicated. So we go back to where we were on West Colonial Drive to one, get my second cup of coffee because now it's like 2:30, quarter to three, and I still got another 3.5 hours, as does my partner. And he's starting to, he's doing his incident report and all this other stuff. And about half an hour later, 45 minutes later, one of the dispatchers, one of my favorite dispatchers, I won't mention her name, but let's say she's colorful and to the point and really knew how to do her job. And if you're on the other side of the radio, that's what you want. You want somebody who's thinking ahead of you because y'all both have been through this. She's been through it as a call taker, and she knows what we're going to want. So she's already ahead of this. Um, so she asked my partner, since I've already said his name was Tim, let's just stick with that, to go to Channel 5. Channel 5 was a car to car. It's just two parties on there at a time. A regular channel with West Side or East Side, you got multiple units listening. I guarantee you, that time of night when she asked him to go to the other channel, car to car, At least a dozen other radios clicked over, including probably the watch commander. I've got to hear this. He's doing that train accident. What happened? This is what she asked him. I'll say, I think his number was 135. 135, reference your victim from the train incident. Did he have all of his parts? Parts, P-A-R-K, no, P-A-R-T-S. Because it was the same way with him. He said 10-9, which means, please repeat, what did you just say? Did your victim have all his parts? And we both looked at each other. The guy that they took to the hospital? Yeah, yeah, he's conscious. Yeah, yeah, his arms. Did he have arms and legs? All his arms and legs. Yes. Okay. Well, then she says, you need to go back to the scene of the accident or incident and speak with, I don't remember what they were called. They were the railroad, CSX, I think, that time. And speak with the railway officials. So we go back. Now it's 4:15, 4:30. The road's open, the train's gone, traffic's moving around really slow because it's 4:30. Rush hour is probably not going to happen for another hour and a half. So we go down because I had to go. I had to see what was going on too because it's midnight. Not much going on, thankfully. And we look up the tracks from this major thoroughfare to the north, down the railroad tracks, and we see the headlights of the CSX truck. It's on the tracks. So apparently, after these incidents, they have to inspect the tracks. Because what happens is this: as soon as the conductor or engineer realize they hit somebody or were in an incident, they have to shut down the train. Emergency stop, full power. Now, first of all, they're entering a city area, so it probably didn't take them long, but they had to shut it down quick. But their speed has been reduced because of the area of the city they're entering. But they still had to shut down, stop. The one guy on the left, he has got a grin, I swear, from ear to ear. I can see, even though it's dark. The other guy, not looking so good. I'm not sure, but I think he has thrown up on his shirt. And they said, they tell you what's going on? This is the railroad people asking us. No, what's going on? Uh, Words can't describe it. Let me show you. So we walk up, not far, about, we are north of that main thoroughfare, about, I don't know, about 70 feet. And we look, and in the middle of the railroad tracks, is a leg from the thigh down, torn off. I don't know if he was wearing shorts or what the deal was, but just bare leg all the way down to his white Converse high tops. One leg. Now I suddenly realize, and then I asked the other guy, I said, is this your, yeah, I threw up there. Okay, just want to make sure. I don't mean to be morbid, but we kind of laughed. Wow, what's this? This was before we had those our nice iPhones and stuff. You'd have seen this on Facebook, I guarantee you. But anyway, we stopped chuckling after a while, and I looked at Tim and I said, crap, we got to find the rest of it. So it's dark. We all have flashlights. Tim has called for our supervisor because he can't find the Northeast supervisor anyway. They're, at the Pancake House or whatever. So we're going out there and we're walking up, and there was an insurance sales, like an independent insurance salesman off this road that goes next to it and in the parking lot. And I remember this very much. I looked around and I said, God, that's a crap load of ants this time of day. And they're marching. I followed the ants. Yep, did Gilbert Gritson. Followed the ants. And found the rest of our person because he's DRB. Police term dead right there, or DRT, dead right there. And I remember distinctly that he had a, I don't know how he did it. He's like, 20 yards from the train tracks, but he's in a parking lot. There is a little splat. There's no crawl mark, nothing like that. The only things crawling are the ants towards him. He's in a parking lot. I remember it distinctly because where it was, there was a yellow, you know, curb marker for someone to park there, and the name was Mrs. Russell. Personal reasons, that name just stuck with me. I'm going, this makes all the sense in the world. So, surprise, the real railroad police come down. There is such a thing. They're a federal group, and the main investigator, he came down. He's taking his pictures. We're calling the coroner and everything else. The guy didn't have any ID on him. Nothing. He had some tattoos, and there was a little bit of, I think he had some newspaper in his pockets. Don't know, but that later played on something how to identify him, because this is way before CSI. How good they were. And he said he theorized, and it made sense to us, that this guy was hoboing between the railroad track or railroad cars. You know, when the front end grazed, hit, or came close to striking the pedestrian, the engineer shut down the train. Granted, it was only probably going about 30 miles, 35 miles an hour, but stopped it so quick that this guy ping-ponged back and forth between two cars, lost his leg, and got ejected into the parking lot, some 65 feet away. True life. So anyway, we couldn't find out who he was. The fingerprints, in those days, we did like state prints. We'd have to send him off to the FBI. Didn't know who he was. They dug through some pockets of his. He had like old newspapers. I think he ended up being from outside of Boston. And that's how they found out who he was. True life. Fun stuff. That's what I liked about being a cop, because when you're there on the scene, you know everything. Well, we didn't know everything, but it was an interesting call. So that's one cop story. Maybe I'll think of another one. Don't forget to call Tim. Wish him a happy birthday on the 11th of November. That's history for me, history for you. Maybe it'll be tomorrow. If you like this kind of story, go ahead and subscribe. I'm at 70 now. I'm trying to get to 100 before 2025 or not. But if you like this, give me a thumbs up. Give me a comment. I got 100 of these. See ya.